might have seen my recent review of The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I love the principles in this book. In this video, I'll share my top 4 takeaways and the way I'm using it to plan a 3-month trip to the Far East in 2024. Let's go. Hi folks, I'm Chris, and on this channel, I focus on personal and career development so you can plan and design the life that you want to lead. If you like stuff like that, you should subscribe. And well, if you don't, don't. Now, I want to set the tone here by sharing a little bit of my story. For much of my life, I've kind of felt like an outsider, finding myself questioning everything around me, from the constructs of society in general, as well as, the life plan that we seem to all be handed when we arrive here on Earth, at birth. I'm not sure that I could have put it into words at the time, but the past few years, it's looked to me like the stupidity that we can all participate in when we just follow the pack is mind-boggling. And in addition, it feels like those who question the current, accepted processes and procedures are quickly ousted, or if you use today's language, canceled. Now, I'm not an intellect, but there have been times in my career where I was considered a thought leader. I spoke around the globe to thousands of people, authored a book on the top of growing your business, and started a podcast that has been listened to hundreds of thousands of times. There was definitely a period where it kind of felt like I could do no wrong. But that feeling ended very quickly at the age of 38 when I took my first corporate position as a technical director for a hair product company that I was doing some contract work for. With what I thought was going to be the next step in an exciting career, turned into what I think Bill Murray experienced in Groundhog Day, reliving each day as if it were the exact same. Never being able to enjoy a win because there was always an overdue project or whatever was next right behind it. And following the same bank holidays like I was back in high school, and all of this for pay that afforded me, a basic 2-bedroom apartment and enough left over to hit the movies and have dinner on the weekend. Let's just say this is not my idea of thriving. So I did what lots of people do. I hopped around for a higher paying job and more flexibility, only to find the same mundane lifestyle for a little bit more flexibility and money. I watched people inside of those offices eat those muffins that were sure to be in the office kitchen, really trade their life away for a paycheck, and I was doing the exact same thing. I felt completely dead inside. I'm sure somewhere along the line I had heard of this book, The 4-Hour Workweek, but at the time I just must have, like a lot of people, thought it's an impossible proposal that one could minimize their time earning money and at the same time maximize their income. So I never read the book. But because my life has changed so much since leaving my real job, when a friend suggested it recently, I downloaded it immediately. And here are the top 4 principles that have stuck with me so far and that I'm using right now to change my approach to business as well as life. Number 1, I'm not crazy and neither are you. If you've been thinking that there must be a better way, then you're correct. You don't have to scroll too far on YouTube these days to see that plenty of people have joined the new rich. What is the new rich? These are people who've stopped living by the old constructs of the 40-hour work week and bank holidays and have decided to design their work life around their desired lifestyle first. They live their lives sometimes in places that most people only dream of vacationing to one day. They create what Tim Ferriss calls a muse, aka a business, that can fund their lifestyle with the minimum amount of effort on their part. Now, you and I are not crazy for wanting to have our cake and eat it too. Other people are doing this very successfully. You can see it lots of different places. I believe I can do it, and you can as well. Number 2, reach higher and get total clarity. In some way, shape, or form, we have all heard the value of goal setting. And if you're anything like me, you may have had some success with this idea, only to take backward steps after achieving that thing or realizing it wasn't as big as you thought. Or you think your goals are too big, so in turn, you never reach for them. In the chapter System Reset, Tim goes deep into this and says doing unrealistic goals are easier than doing the realistic. He explains that 99% of people believe they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for mediocre, and that trying to achieve what everybody else is trying to achieve is actually much harder than trying to achieve the unrealistic. He says that we should be shooting for a life that excites us. So when you're setting goals, he says, rather than just setting the goal, ask yourself, what would excite me if I was able to achieve it? Finally, he says you have to be unreasonable and have unambiguous goals when you set targets. Number 3, freedom of time is worth more than just a pile of money. One of the core principles of the 4-hour work week is that the new rich seek a life that they love and value this over just plain dollars and cents. This is not to say that money is not important, but you want to use your work life, your financial life, to fuel your dream life, not vice versa. You know, most people spend the healthiest and most productive years of their lives working 40 hours a week, living for the weekends, and maybe a couple of weeks vacation, right? We see this all the time. You might be living in it right now. In the book, Tim describes mini retirements as scheduling from 1 month and up to a year a few times throughout your life so you can spread the experience of a lifetime throughout your life so that you have the physical energy to enjoy the fruits and activities of maybe the places you'll visit or the things that you want to do. I don't know what it is for you, skydiving, scuba diving, whatever. I've always been a travel junkie. And I've been lucky, honestly, that even my work life has taken me to many places around the globe. And I'm still surprised to this day when I'm talking to somebody and they say, I've never been out of the country, or I've only been on an airplane a couple of times. There is so much value in seeing what the herd is doing, the crowd, and doing the exact opposite of this. So before I share my 4th and final takeaway, I want to ask you, have you read this book? I mean, I just stumbled upon it after all these years. If you have you made some changes? What have you implemented in your life? I would love to know. Please leave it in comments below. And if you haven't heard of the book or read the book, check out my full book review right here. And of course, if you're enjoying this review, please smash the like button and be sure to subscribe so you never miss, videos like this when I post. My 4th takeaway is that I need to plan this now. You see, if you're going to start the rest of your life, then you have to start to plan the rest of your life now and not wait. A few years ago, I scheduled myself on a 4-month remote year trip. If you haven't heard of remote year, I'll stick the link to that company below. So because of COVID and the rules around travel at that time, I was never able to go on that trip. And suddenly I blink my eyes and 3 years have passed. And I haven't even been out of the country that entire time, which is a long time for me. Upon reading this book, I immediately put a plan into place to spend time in either Thailand, the Philippines, or Vietnam. I'm researching all that. And I could end up deciding to spend just a month in each place. What I'm doing right now is planning and figure out how to earn money while I'm there, to take part in this thesis of the 4-hour work week. So I've listed myself as an editor on Fiverr, video editor, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on how that goes. My plan is to start to generate income and then go to the Philippines, and if not, I'm still going to take that trip anyway, so I'll keep you updated on that. So to close this out with some final thoughts, what I should say is there is a ton more to take away from reading The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I mean, this book is filled with a ton of actions and strategies that I'll be implementing in my life for sure. But I wanted to at least give you a glimpse of some of the first thoughts that came to mind after reading this book. Like I said, my brain was kind of exploding. So anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, of course, check out that playlist for more book reviews and for more videos on personal and career development so you can design and live the life that you want to lead.